Peace, y'all. Hey, let's get it. Peace, peace, and pieces. When y'all enter in, drop the infinity symbol for me. Hello, let me move this out of my face for a second, just a little bit. I'm going to pull you up on my other phone so I can see you. I still see you back here, but I still want to be able to see you in real time. And let's go. And when you come in, please drop the infinity symbol so that I know that you're here and you're ready to work. Infinity symbol, please. Hey, peace, all Sister Brittany. Okay, y'all. I keep saying this and I miss her every time she comes in. So that would be my business partner, Brittany, that I co-manage creators with. That's who I'm saying that you need to follow. Fashion designer, doctor in waiting. That's how I'm going to say that. And all of those things. And every time she comes in, she says hello, then she disappears, then she says hello. Peace and thank you very much. So her and Rochelle came in here and I keep saying, hey, and then she's gone. So now you know who she is. You can take a screenshot so you can follow her later. And then on TikTok, she's Creator Life. Okay. All right, y'all in here. So we had a conversation that was going on earlier. And in that conversation that was going on as part of another class, it's something that I think we need to revisit. On top of that, this is going to be like different topics. We're just going to be hanging out a bit and I get to ask the questions. How about that? Instead of y'all asking me the questions. Now, later at the end, and maybe in between, when you have a question, I'll bring it up on the screen. So don't worry about that. I'll get to it eventually. I know Jax is in here. Peace, Jax. Jax got you. She'll let me know. And then LaRonda's in here, and LaRonda's on a cruise. So hello, LaRonda. Thank you for joining on the cruise. Peace, everybody. Yes, normally I don't do them on Sundays, but I'm doing it on Sunday today since I had Ebbos this morning. And as you all know, I will be traveling soon, so I won't be able to get on as much as I perceive that I will be, but I'm going to try my best to still communicate and put out content. That said, let me go ahead and introduce to you the one, the only, the best moderator in the land. The one who asks all the hard questions. The one and only butterfly in the sky herself.
You
Queen.
already know. Come on. Hey,
Thank you
y'all.
for this. Thank
Peace,
you.
family, wellness,
Hey.
community, butterflies in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look. I got on pants today, y'all. Take a look. It's another. It's the wellness community. Hey,
And then
y'all.
now, let me go ahead and bring up the one and only choir master, director, nominated director, and the one who will give you the facts as they are and as they should be, Mr. Darcel Andre. Look,
The regional award nominee,
The one and the
Darcel
only,
Andre.
the man with the
okay,
master
let's
fan.
go, Darcel.
Uh,
As you know,
uh, the man with the master fan. I like
I'm
that. I like
telling
that.
you,
Is that it? The man with the
That's
master
the,
fan.
that's the one. The man with
that's
the
it.
master fan. Let's go.
So if you all don't already know, Poe's sign is a butterfly. So when you come in there, the wellness community, you'll see them dropping. Okay, Brittany. All right. Darcel's sign is the light bulb for the lighthouse. Let's go. And
Let's
Okay.
as you know,
get it.
I'm infinity and beyond. All
Sue
right.
Cat, I
Oh,
see you in the chat, Sue Cat. Where you been at,
Yes,
Sue?
yes.
Where you been, Sue? We see you in the
Hey,
chat. Okay, sorry. I when I see my wellness family, I gotta call them out when I ain't seen them in a long time.
listen,
Sue.
yes. And for those of you all that complimented the artwork, you need to thank these two for talking about I was hiding my house.
hiding it in the
Get it
depths.
together.
Okay. So she was like, So hey, Cheverly, let's jump into some things. I want to talk uh signs of scamming. That's one of them. I want to talk back to trusting yourself, because that was a good conversation that we had today, Darcel. And then I want to circle into your own experiences getting to where you are now in spirituality. They had no idea what I was going to ask about or say. And they came on here prepared and ready. Okay. So, first things first. Darcel, did you or did you not hand me several clients who have been scammed?
Listen, no lies are told. I sent several clients over to EI because the moment I started hearing stuff that was allegedly E5, and it was a whole bunch of different mixes and herbal blends and different types of animals, I said, okay, I need to go ahead and send them over. Absolutely. That, and because the price point was outrageous. So I sent them over.
Yes. So let's get into that. I can only speak of what we do in my home. Okay. I can only speak of here. So the first things first, because I've had some people send me Instagram messages as well that said that people slid into their DMs. None of us on any level, even Poe and Darcel, outside of those that practice Ishe, will ever slide into your DMs telling you that your ancestors spoke to us. That's not going to happen. Absolutely. That is a play on whatever it is they see, or they see you following one of us, and then they say, oh, your ancestors spoke to us. Let me help you do something. They call you all terms of endearment. Listen, I'm not calling everybody boo. Okay. I'm not like, sweetheart, your ancestors. That's not coming from me. So no practitioner will ever slide into your DMs. Most likely, if you find someone that does what I do in relation to what I do as a Luwu, it is because of a referral. Somebody knows somebody that told somebody. If you find us online and we happen to actually be true to this, it's a miracle. So count that as a blessing. Okay. That's the first thing. Secondly, because I was on the receiving end way back in the day of not knowing the next steps, I thought at first that I was being scammed on something. In other words, it was like, okay, here's your divination. Okay, great. I didn't know there was an elbow. Nobody told me. This is why I tell you. It was sort of like, and by the way, here's this cost. Nobody explained that to me. If you all know me very well, I'm very detailed oriented. I run this like a business because I run businesses. So everything is a contract. When you sign up on my site, it's a contract. When I send you stuff, it's a contract. That's why I tell you to email me your questions. It protects you and protects me. Everything is written and documented in that way. Therefore, when you sign up, you get this email. First, excuse me, before you even do that, you get this, did you click this link? So that you can learn a little bit more about what's going to happen. I answer questions as to why I do this. It's a whole Q&A. And I immediately mention to you that there is another cost, period. Before you even do that, before you're even supposed to pay for it, you're supposed to read that link. When you don't read that link, I still mention it when you go to put your name and your mother's name. That's another thing. We're not going to ask you for more than your name and your mother's name. That's it. If we ask for more than that, then we are not true. Let me say that. And I'm saying we, like air quotes. We should not ask you for anything more. We don't need your social security number. We don't need your date of birth. We don't need any of that. Okay. So
wait, not the social security number. We're going to need your social.
Yeah. And passport ID. And where do you live? Because when you pay, I get your address when you pay. And do you know why I get your address when you pay? To verify the card that you're using to pay me. And then afterwards, if you so choose to do the second part after the divination, the Ebo, then I have your address to mail you your akoshe or your assigned medicine for you, your soap or whatever the object may be. That's why I have your address. But I make sure it double checks everything. So you can't say that I did some frauding or scamming to take your card and use it and write it myself. That's not, again, I have to run this like a business because I got checks and balances. I don't know if y'all know, but I have certifications with the federal government for my other businesses that I'd like to keep. So in
Listen,
order to keep
listen.
that, I have to show them where the income is coming from, where it's going. I have to tell them this is how much money I made and didn't make. So I'm not playing with that. I'm not playing with that livelihood. Okay. So you get
Right.
an email that says, this is why I do this. Why am I explaining all these things? Why am I writing all these things out? Because I don't want you surprised. And as y'all know, I will highlight some things in a second. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, when you get your divination, I still highlight some of the same stuff I just got through telling you when you signed up. Now, my
Mm-hmm.
calendar site will send it to you directly. You get it directly from them. But sometimes when I'm sending you the stuff because of the links, Google, I don't know what is going on, it will block the heck out of me. So I tell you to check your spam. I'm going to try to make sure that I put it when you sign up as well, to have a safe list or something and check your spam so that you get the messages that I'm sending to you. Now, afterwards, I even put a range in there. Many of you are like, well, I don't know how much money I need. I don't know, because we don't have a menu. We don't go, oh, it was this Odoo. So now we just going, this is how much it costs. No, because each
You
Odoo
got a
has
$30
subsets.
Okeet. You got
Yeah,
you
you
got
know what
two
I'm saying?
$20 goats. Like,
Right, for real. So I don't, it's sort of like, okay, so then I send it to you when I get it. And how do we get it? The owl, they go do the quote unquote shopping. They go to the market or they price the animals and stuff they have, and that's what they do. Now, if you have a problem with the animals, I don't know what to tell you right now because they are on there and we list it all. So not everybody does that. You can go get a divination, and I really mean a divination. I don't mean a reading. I mean a divination that gives you the prescription within what you're doing from anybody else, and they may just tell you verbally what it says. I'm not them. I can't speak for them. I can only speak for what we do in our house. And this is how we run our house. And this is why I'm so detailed. I think it's important for people to understand and to learn. So we do this, and it takes time. It takes about 2 hours just to do your divination, because he is constantly asking why, how, until there's no more whys and hows. And then it's like, oh, that's why y'all get all those numbers. You're like, what? I got 10, I got 12, I got 14. Yes. Because it's constantly why, how. So it's not simple to do, and that's why it takes so long. So if I'm doing 4 or 5 a day, sometimes 7, I want you to think how many hours that takes. And then on top of that, we have EBOs happening that when people show up, or other ones that were scheduled, and then he still gets them done. So look at that for a second. Okay, this is why we have the wait list now, because he was like, these scheduled dates gonna be hard with my schedule. So
Right.
it's not something that's easily done, but we're doing it because you came for the help. Is this a money making grab? I don't know how. I still haven't figured out how, based on the amount of people that are involved and what they get. I don't know how they make any money. That's
Right.
simply put. The time that goes into it, what I charge for the divination, I'm told it's still not high enough because we do more than most people. Yeah, with all of the communication, with the time that it takes that he's actually translating. Y'all don't get the fact that Yoruba language, ancient Yoruba language, some of the things don't translate well in English. So then he has to think, how can I say this so that you understand it? And then I still go behind him and alter what he says because I'll know what he's saying, but you won't know. So we go through and edit it before it gets to you. So forgive us if you got some typos. My bad. It's a lot of back and forth. So I'm giving you the heads up. But what
Yeah.
you won't have is anybody sliding into your DMs telling you that you need to do something. And I can't speak to the prices that people charge here in the US to things. What I can say is they're trying to make a living. And what they do and how much they do on the front end, that's on them. That has nothing to do with me. But all I know is we do the best that we can. And what he said to me a long time ago when I said I was going to go ahead and listen and do my job, right? Be out here in the forefront, was he said the importance isn't the amount of money you make to get the people, it is the education of the people and to help them, which is why his prices aren't higher as they should be, to be honest. But he's like, we need to be able to get it to him, which is why he apologizes when he thinks it's too high. He's like, I know it's high, but it's inflation and such. I apologize. Who does that? Do you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
get it while you can. because I can't promise what it's going to be later. I can just tell you what it is now. And there has been a shift based on all of the external factors. I see Darcel's frozen. Let me see if he's coming back.
Am I still frozen?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
I'll bring you back.
No, I was gonna say he wasn't frozen for me. I could see him. I think he's just not moving. He wasn't moving, so it looked frozen.
Oh, who's that still?
Yeah, he was
I was
still. He
still.
wasn't moving.
I was focused. Focused.
Oh,
I was gonna say, if I could speak to the psychic medium element
yes.
of the scammerization, because I know,
Yes,
and
please.
Poe probably has had this experience too.
Now he's
Now he's
frozen.
frozen.
Say,
Now he's frozen.
You're back.
moving
Let's
down.
go.
what is going? Am I on the right internet?
Yes, peace, Chi-Chi.
Okay, can y'all hear me? Am I still
Yes.
frozen? Am I going?
No, we
Okay.
hear you.
You're not frozen.
There are times where I have been live somewhere. I have been somewhere, and the spirit will tap me on my shoulder and tell me to give someone some information, and I will do that. Now, that being said, I do not turn around and ask them for a cash app
Right.
because the spirit has tapped me on the shoulder to let them know something then.
Yep.
So as it pertains, and I can tell you, it's probably been maybe one time has it ever been that I felt like I needed to message someone about anything. And that was literally one time. So it is a rarity. It is a rarity that anything like that.
Okay, so it's not me.
It's not you, Darcel, baby. It's your internet is it's not agreeing with you. It's not agreeing with the spirit, huh? Your internet is not in alignment with the spirit.
It's
Okay.
still.
It's you just went out and then came right back. So you may
look
need
at that.
to
Somebody take a too bad.
No, don't do him like that. Don't try to do my friend. Don't do it. If it froze you looking like it froze you looking crazy. Don't try to do my friend. It froze him earlier being cute. Take that one. If you choose that screenshot, you fake. Okay.
I'm windmilling the internet.
Darcel, you may need to go out, and then come back into the link. Maybe that might be what you need to do. So just real quick, tap out and then come back in. Look, because you frozen again, Lloyd. Okay. But I will pick up where he left off, essentially where because I was actually going to discuss the same thing. I saw that in the chat. Sacred Lotus has said when I was like your ancestors, we're not going to DM you saying that your ancestors came to us. And Sacred Lotus with love, Sacred Lotus was like, my ancestors don't even know you. Why would they come to you? As a medium, sometimes your ancestors or your spirit guides as a whole, because if you're in the wellness community, you know that it could be more than ancestors. Sometimes your spirit guides as a whole will come to a medium, will come to a not a psychic necessarily, because those are two different things, but a medium to deliver message. However, in wellness community, y'all know I tell y'all this all the time. As a medium, if you are truly gifted, that person will come to you. Their spirit guides may come to you and give you a message, but when you are truly gifted as a medium, they will also tell you that person is going to come to you. We've experienced this a couple times within the community. I have experienced this with folks where literally somebody's grandmother came to me, and I knew this is outside of the wellness community. I was laying in my bed. This person's grandmother came to me and told me she's coming. Stay up, she's coming. Not even 5 minutes later, it's like 2:00 in the morning. Not even 5 minutes later, I get a DM on Instagram, and I clicked it. I said, "Girl, I knew you was coming. This is you. This is what's going on. This is what you experienced." And she sent her. I had to send voice notes because it was so much information. They came to me, and they will tell you that in the wellness community. Y'all know we had another sister who came and was like, she was in the group, and she was in the Zoom, and I said, "Hey, This your first day? She said this was her first day. I said your mama was in my house this morning. Your grandma was in my house this morning. And da 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 da. You don't have to reach out and DM people and tell them that I have a message from your spirit. Their spirit guides is going to align them with you. Their spirit guides will bring them to you. So the whole reaching out and messaging folks and saying, "Oh, your ancestors is talking to me. I have a message for you." That's a red flag right there. That's fake. That's fake. Spirit is not going to have you harass their physical beings. They're not.
At all.
They're not going to have you hassling and soliciting and all of that. So, yeah, as a medium, we may get people's spirit guides and energies come to us, but we don't have to find you. You will find us, and then we will tell you what was said.
Yeah, I would
And
do it
no
on Clubhouse
cash
all the time and scare them. I'm like, because let me ask you this: does it feel like nails on a chalkboard to y'all? Because that's what it feels like to me.
In what
Does
way?
it feel like that? Like you must say it, because if you don't say it, it's like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I've had that experience.
Do you have that
I've
experience too,
definitely had that
Poe?
experience. Right.
Like you could
Is
run
that-
your hands and you like,
I wouldn't necessarily say nails on a chalkboard. It's the feeling of, you know how somebody be trying to tell you something and you don't even really want to hear it, but then they keep talking and they get closer and closer in your ear and they like, no, but for real, I'm trying to tell you that. Da, 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 da. Okay, but no, for real.
yeah,
Okay, but I said, okay, but do you even think about this now? That's what
yeah,
it feels like. It's like no matter how much you try to ignore, it's like, no, I'm going to bed. No, I'm gonna go to bed. It's like, you can't go to sleep because I'm right here in your ear and I'm trying to tell you. I said that's what it feels like for me, and it's like you can't do nothing else. They're not gonna leave you alone. They're not gonna leave you alone. It's right here, right here.
yeah. I was telling Sister Brittany that because we had that when they deal with me on Clubhouse, they're dealing with the business part. So they see everything, but they're like, oh, it's just a business. But when I was doing it to people in there, because it would be like they're like, I don't know if I'm supposed to focus on cooking or whatever. And I'm like, you definitely need to focus on cooking. Well, how do you know? It's like, how do you explain? Especially when they don't know you for that. So thank you for that, because I was actually getting ready to come to y'all and ask you about your experience with that. And as far as these duplicate profiles, I keep changing my picture and title because I have them. Even though I sent them the trademark stuff, TikTok still hasn't taken them down. So whenever y'all see them, report them for me, please. 1,000 times. I don't care if you tell them that they're impersonating you, but they need more reporting. And they take the worst pictures of me too, because the video moves. So they just get what they can and put it up. And the same thing for Dudsell. He has one account.
That's it.
That's
I
it.
have one account. I don't have.
Poe has one account.
Darcel Andre 25, Darcel Andre 16, Darcel Andre _ 12. No.
Not it.
There's only one. And also too, like for sessions, you have to see for me, you will have to book. I'm not gonna do a whole, no practitioner is going to do a whole session for you in your DMs, y'all.
For real.
They're not gonna be
For real.
tit for tat in your DMs. That is wild. I know for me, if you have a session with me or someone saying it's me, you have had to go to the link in my bio, click it, register, sign up, and book a date. That's the only way that you speak with me in that way. That's it.
All right. Let me put some of these messages because I saw them up. And Poe, do you have anything to add to that? Because you have one Instagram, one YouTube, one.
For me, I don't even speak on this. I don't even speak on this topic because Salam, please, y'all. There's people coming in and out my house, so Salam is having a fit. But I only have one Instagram, one TikTok, one everything. For me, I don't even speak on this because when people fall for the scammers, that just lets me know that you are not truly a fan or a supporter of mine. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. So I don't even speak on it because when you fall for that, it just lets me know, and not necessarily in a negative way, but it just lets me know where you stand in my community. Because on my Instagram, I have it in my bio that this is my only page. On my YouTube, I have 2 videos called What to Know Before You Get a Reading, where I explain this. Pinned on top of my Instagram profile and pinned to the top of my TikTok, I have a whole video I did warning folks about scammers. So when you DM me and saying you got caught up by a scam page of mine, it just lets me know that 1, you ain't reading, 2, you ain't watching, 3, you ain't supporting. And that's just that on that. So I don't even speak on this topic no more because I give it no more of my energy. I have given it enough. All the warnings is out there. And if you still fall for it, and that's why I said it's not a negative thing. I just assume that it is a lesson you needed to learn. If the scammer still gets you today, your spirit guides are trying to teach you a lesson. They're trying to teach you a lesson about patience, about doing your due diligence and making sure you read, about not tapping into your energy and giving up your funds freely to folks you don't even know. There's multiple lessons you needed to learn. So I don't interfere in spirit. That's why I don't speak on this no more. I'm not interfering in spirit trying to tap that ass for you. Okay?
Come on, bro.
You got to do better. I've done more than my part with all the videos in the morning.
Listen.
Thank you.
And I've had people message me that's gotten scammed and had the audacity to ask me if I would reimburse them.
Where they do that at?
You got scammed and you want to ask me because it was your last $2 to reimburse you for you being tricked? My father, who was a huge businessman and entrepreneur, will come forth from forth the spirit and put me in a chokehold if I were to pay you your money. He will put me in a chokehold. Can't do it.
I had to do it. Hold up. Just be you.
Listen, it is laughable. That's a you problem.
Sue Cat, thank you very much for this. Very much. We're going to leave that. We left that up there for a minute. Now I'm going to bring up this because I think this is sweet as well. Check it out. Come on, y'all. Kudos, y'all.
Thank you, Phoenix Rising. First off, let me tell you about Phoenix Rising. Y'all know I always got to introduce my people. Phoenix Rising is in the wellness community. We love Phoenix Rising so dearly. We had a Zoom last night. She's been coming to every Zoom, and she always has something beautiful and positive to say and to speak on. And everybody yesterday was commenting on her voice because this is a message, which I got to hear Phoenix Rising voice. Phoenix Rising talks to you like this. And she's like, you know, Queen, I was thinking about, and Phoenix Rising has such a beautiful, poetic, her tone is amazing. The way that her cadence is so poetic. We love Phoenix Rising, always great energy, always love. So I just wanted to return that love. I'm hugging you, Phoenix. I'm hugging you through the phone. Just wanted to return that love to you because we love you dearly, girl.
Thank y'all. Okay, is this one that says makes sense? Let me see what this one is. I saw it. Makes sense. Okay. Here's the last one on this, and then we're moving on to the second thing I said we'll discuss. Then the bio don't even make sense.
Leave it up to Deidre to say some shady shit. Leave it up to Deidre to say some shady shit. Then the bio don't even make sense. Ifa, Lukumi, and Hoodoo divination in one. Now, Buki, you didn't do no research in this show. Y'all know who Deidre talking about. Y'all know who Deidre talking about. Okay. Deidre is so shady. Why you do this, Deidre?
So, thank you for that. So now that we got that out the way, let's move on to trust in yourself. And this is what I'm going to, because I have exhausted the pipes on talking about this. But I'm going to say it again here in the way that is Poe's favorite way. And then we're going to speak to Poe and Darcel so that they can say their experience with learning how to trust themselves. Okay. So I just got through saying this in Darcel's class real quick, where you all keep forgetting that you can't put expectations on how you expect other people to act or do. And when you're born, you don't have anybody but you. You stop yourself from crying, you soothe yourself, you put your own hand in your mouth because you trust you. And at some point, someone told you in your age, like you could have been 3, 4, 5 or something, you were wrong. And when they told you were wrong or you didn't do something right, you then started to doubt yourself and look for somebody else to tell you you're right. You need to negate that type of emotional abuse, because that's what it is, and go back to yourself. You're not going to let you down. Whatever lessons you learn are meant for you, right? But it's you that's number one. It's you need to trust. I know that there are situations where you're like, well, why am I letting these type of people do XYZ? That's for the lesson, but it still goes back to the same thing. You're your first best friend. You hear yourself first. When you cry, when that first time you heard a cry, you heard you for the first time. You. So stop looking to everybody else and other things outside of yourself to validate who you are, what you hear, and what you're doing. And from that, you will be able to then discern whether that voice you hear that sounds like you is actually yours or not. I explained that it takes energy quite a bit to use your own energy to change the tone of their voice. There has to be a certain level of growth that you have in either your meditation work or your spirituality to trust something outside of that. So you will typically hear yourself as the voice. So you need to decide, how much do you trust yourself and that you know yourself enough that you'll know and be able to discern the difference of something you would say and do versus something another energy would say or do for you. We don't all get to hear voices differently. It doesn't work like that for everybody, especially clairaudient people. 99% of the time is you first, you all the time. You feeling like XYZ. And then from that, you grow. Now, I know that Poe disappeared for a second, so we're going to go to Darcel. Can you talk to the people about
Mhm.
trusting yourself? And how long did it take you to do that? Welcome back. I love the girl. You could be a pinup with that. The
You
book
know, I
and the
had to come in ass first. I had to come in ass first.
yes. Let's go. Booty everywhere. All right,
Well, I think for me,
let's
I
go.
was I was raised in a particular way, to be very independent. I was just always raised that way. I need to be independent. I need to rely upon myself, to accomplish tasks and get things done. And that's just how I was raised. But through my development of my spiritual gifts, or rather abilities, before I knew that's what it was, um, we had like a lot of illness in my family. And I just had a knowing that no matter what was happening to them in the hospital, that they were either going to be okay or they were not going to be okay. To the point to where all the adults, now I'm talking about, I'm like 8 years old. All of the adults would be like, how did I say, you feeling all right? You good? Yeah, I'm all right. And then they would know, they're like, okay, so that must mean that everything's gonna be okay. And so I kept leaning into that. But I think the other side is, from a more real world perspective, is every time I went against what I knew, it was disastrous. Every time I went against myself, it was absolutely disastrous. And it is because in your enlightenment journey, if you will, um, I've done so much work on clarity and understanding how to see other perspectives to situations, that if I have a feeling, not just a thought, if I have a feeling, a knowing that something is a certain way, I have to lean with that. I
Yes.
normally talk about a different perspective on the Adam and Eve story, dear God, um, which is essentially about trust. If we were to, for a second, look at Adam and Eve from Adam as a masculine energy, or as representing the masculine energy, and Eve representing the feminine energy. Divine femininity is wisdom. It is
Excuse me.
knowing. Mm-hmm. It is knowing. It is intuitive, right? And so, if we take this whole idea of the serpent saying, "Oh, there's information being hidden away from you," and Eve went, and was like, really? Okay, I need to go ahead and eat. And then it led to all this destruction and disaster. Ultimately, that's what happens in your life when you go against what it is that you know. Eve, in the representative of divine feminine energy of knowing, for Eve to act like she didn't know, led to the downfall. So I look at that on a personal level as to when I or you or anyone goes against what it is that you know, disaster comes every time. So that's my measurement as to my self trust. Period.
Thank you. I'm gonna get to the comments because I see them. They were
Mm-hmm.
commenting on the shape of some bootangs. So, Pope, going back to you now. When did you learn to trust yourself, or how did you develop that?
Um. Okay, so a couple things because I wanna uh hit that Adam and Eve point as well. So I'm gonna answer that question. Yeah, I wanna because it's still fresh on their mind. But Darcel about the Adam and Eve situation.
Mm-hmm.
If we gonna touch on the divine feminine and sacred masculine, I love that perspective. I also want to give another perspective to that, y'all. The divine feminine and sacred masculine is energy. It goes beyond your physical body, it goes beyond your gender identity, it goes beyond all of that. It's an energy thing, right? So let's take a moment. According to the biblicals, they blame Eve for the destruction. Eve was not functioning in her divine feminine. Why? Because if this apple was truly dangerous, if that serpent was truly not of wellness, Eve's divine feminine, her intuition would have told her. If she was functioning in her divine feminine, she would have allowed that to lead in that moment and trusted it. But the thing is, Eve was dwelling too much in her sacred masculine. Eve was being too assertive. She was being too much of a leader. Eve was dwelling so much in her sacred masculine that Adam followed her. Adam trusted what Eve said. Eve was out of balance, baby. Okay, that over abundance of sacred masculine, that wounded sacred masculine said, I think I'm above God. I think I'm bigger than all of that. I think I'm bigger than the warnings. I think I'm bigger than my intuition. I think I'm bigger than everything. And I am going to convince my man even to go against God. I'm going to lead him. I'm being assertive and I'm leading him to go against his own divine feminine, go against the divine feminine will of the divine being. And I'm going to tell him that we're going to eat this apple, and that's what's going to happen. And then the destruction of the universe, which y'all know I don't even believe that story anyway. But I'm just saying, when you have
Absolutely.
a wounded sacred masculine, you fail to trust your divine feminine. When you have a wounded sacred masculine, sometimes you don't even realize that you're not trusting that divine feminine intuition, and you drag other people down with you because you think you right. You think you a boss. You think you a leader. You think you a alpha. And you have a way of trying to convince everybody to follow you, but you are leading them into destruction because you have failed to follow your divine feminine intuition. Okay?
Period.
So as we talked about before, all that alpha stuff, a true alpha knows when to play beta. A true alpha knows how to fall back and allow other people to lead. A true alpha.
Facts.
Eve was not an alpha. Eve was functioning in her wounded sacred masculine and abandoned her divine feminine, and therefore the cake pan is dented. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you was in the Zoom. Okay.
Listen,
Now,
side
for
note,
me,
side note. Even with Adam, Adam wasn't operating any divine feminine energy either because he didn't ask no questions. He just did. And that is evidence of hyper masculine to do without wisdom.
come on. Now, for me, when it comes to like when did I trust myself, um, eh, I've been gifted since I was a child. I've always known I had a very unique connection with spirit. I've always known that since I was very young and before I even knew, you know, other people knew, other folks knew, my family knew before I even knew. Literally, I always tell this story. There's a story from when I was very young, and my mother always talks about when she was doing my hair, and she said that I turned around and started pointing, and she felt something sit down on the bed, and I was saying my grandmother's name. She looked back, and my grandmother, who had passed 2-3 years before I was born, 2 or 3 years before I was born, was sitting on the edge of the bed, and that was like, okay, it's something with this child. Always been, gifted, always had, medium abilities. And it used to be to the point that I would daze out, and spirit would be communicating. And my mother would be like, snap out of it, pay attention,
Yes.
so I was always that, I was always that, snap out of it. God, we walking through the grocery store, I walk past somebody, it's a message for them, and I'm dazed. You know what I'm saying? So from the outside, it just looks like I'm dazed out, not paying attention. And it's like, oh, you okay? Snap out of it. What's going on? Focus, focus. But I couldn't. When I was very young, I didn't know how to control this. So trusting for me looked like me learning how to control it, learning how spirit communicates with me, learning how to function within this gift. I was very blessed to have a family where I wasn't seen it like this was openly talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like people being gifted, people having the sight, people having the gift of knowing, the claircognizance. This is not anything new in my family. It's always been trusted when people have that. I had a great aunt who had certain gifts, and people talk about my great aunt, and when she saw somebody sitting in her chair, that means that they're going to pass. She knew when people was going to transition. She knew when folks was going to get pregnant. So this was, again, I was blessed to have a family that this was openly discussed. So I always was comfortable with it, always kind of trusted the fact that I had a gift. For me, the trusting part that I had to work on was, how do I tune it? How do I learn how to turn it off? How do I tell spirit that I don't like clairsentience? This is too much for me. That's too overwhelming. I don't want to communicate in that way, because if y'all don't know, you can communicate with your spirit guides and communicate with spirit how you're comfortable communicating. So if something is too much for you, you can say, hey, that clairaudience is too much for me. Hey, I don't like this sound. That's too much for me. I don't like these feelings. That's too much. I prefer this. And they will shift and change in the way that you are comfortable communicating, because at the end of the day, their intention is to get the message out. And you are the medium, you are the in-between of getting the message out. So they want to communicate with you in a way that you will receive it so you can pass the message. So I had to learn that as I got older. Also, another aspect of trusting. So the first part was learning how to tune my gift. The second aspect of trusting for me was, who can I tell? Who can I talk to about this? So finding community that I could trust with understanding my gift, because when you grow up as a medium, you know that a lot of people, this is not a common thing. You know what I'm saying? And then you know that you understand people's religion and their own personal beliefs about it. So you just know that this is not something you can talk to folks about. And if you in the wellness community last night in the Zoom, we talked about this, about having to find or attract a tribe that you can talk about these things with. So over the years, I had to learn, who can I trust with getting to know that part of myself? So who can I trust with sharing this gift with? I had to learn that everybody doesn't want a message from spirit. Some people don't believe in that. So when I get a message from someone's spirit guides, how do I know what to tell and what to keep to myself? Some messages are not meant for you to tell the person. Sometimes their spirit guides or your spirit guides are just trying to tell you something about them, not tell you something to tell them. So learning how to distinguish and differentiate all of that is so many levels. And so for me, it's overall, I had to trust how to tune my gift. Learning how to tune my gift was the hardest part for me. And I'm still always growing and progressing in fine-tuning my abilities.
Yeah, because you can't be a good teacher if you don't learn. Some people want to reach the top and they want to say, oh, I just skipped here and it was fine. And it's not. You're always going to be learning. Good teachers continue to seek knowledge. So to you, they may look like they're at their height, but they will always go higher and never settle.
And
Absolutely.
I
We
think
was
too a
talking
part
about
of no, go ahead.
Good.
no, I was gonna say we was talking about the same thing in the Zoom last night. We was talking about forever being a student. Forever being a student. We read
Mhm.
the 7 spiritual laws of success. So we had a book club meeting last night. And I was telling them this is my third time reading the book. And I shared my notes and I said, y'all, I'm still learning new things. And I still have not mastered all of these laws. I'm still running through like, oh, I'm on law 6 now. I think I'm at 7. Have I reached as I'm talking to them and I'm telling them my notes from 7. I was like, I think I'm gonna read it again, y'all. I'm gonna read it
Yeah.
again. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Dr.
Well,
Yes.
I another aspect of the trust for me is giving myself permission in the learning how to trust myself process to make a mistake, to
Mm-hmm.
error, and to not be like that must mean that I don't have no abilities. I'm not called to this. I need to give it up. I need to throw in the towel. When you are learning how to perceive messages, there are times when like for instance, when y'all do like those intuition tests, right? And
Yes.
I'll say like I'll have a card and it is 4 spades or whatever, and I'm like, all right, y'all, what are y'all seeing? You may not see the card in your head that is the number 4 with the spades on there, but you may see digging. You're like, I don't know what digging is about. But if you know anything about gardening, you have a spade and that's what you dig with. So messages come in different ways. And so sometimes you can misstep in your understanding of it because you're still learning how the messages come in. I used to think that some of them, if I wasn't having a palpable physical experience, then the spirit was not speaking to me. What
Mm.
I learned recently was that these images and these things that I see, at first I'm like, why is this real extra? This is really cinematic. But the spirit shows me these things because within that one image they're showing me, there's at least 5 or 6 different messages they need me to pull from that. So it is is an ever growing and an ever unfolding process. But give yourself the opportunity. If you don't get it completely clear, register that and be like, oh, okay, so when I feel that, that is not that, that is this. But you only get that understanding through error and correction and through continued practice.
Now, based off of that, and then I'm gonna close it out because we hitting the minutes. I'm staying on track today.
Come on, man.
uh what I think people get confused about too is what it looks like to them when we say we're seeing something or when we say we're hearing it. Some of us see it in front of us, can see the apparitions in front of us or the energy in front of us some of the time. Some of us can see it in our mind's eye. It's almost like you're playing a movie in your head, right? Other of us, when we hear it, it's our voice. Some hear another voice. So, what does that look like for you? In my case, I asked a long time ago, case in point, what Poe spoke about, not to see energies in front of me because they were doing it all the time when I was driving. And I was like, somebody gonna get hurt. And especially when I was going past places that people didn't know that buildings were on top of graveyards or historical places where there was a lot of bloodshed and stuff like that. It would happen all the time, and they would come up in front of the car and stuff, or they would sit there behind in my car and ride for a bit, right? The other thing is I can smell things. So I'm like, well, what is the smell? What's going on? And I'm driving and you hit me with the whiff. I was like, yeah, I need y'all not to do that when I'm driving. I also need you not to step out in front of my car. I would appreciate it if you could hold that back. So, what does that look like for you when you set boundaries, I guess, with how the energies communicate with you? And what does it look like when you do communicate with them? Do you see it as an actual movie or picture in your head? How do you see it? Go ahead, Poe.
Okay, that's such a good question, EF. For me, it's a combination. So I experience all. I experience claircognizance, clairsentience, clairaudience, all of it, all of it. The thing about it is, how can I describe this?
It's hard to describe. I know, that's why I'm asking you,
It
because I know
is.
many
It's
people, they go, "Well, I think I'm doing this, but I don't know if it's me." And because they try to compare their experience to others, and I know that all of our experiences are different, it will help somebody watching this.
yeah, because see, the thing is, even my experiences could be different at different times. So all of it happens usually at once for me. Um, the clairvoyance, the seeing, right? That happens a lot, right? So seeing for me could look like me actually physically seeing the energy, seeing the spirit. I don't even like really like it's so for me, I didn't know we was gonna talk about this. Y'all, I was
She didn't
told
have
this
any kind of
topic was
clue.
gonna
I'm
be
just telling
completely
her.
different.
It's
I
a
didn't know.
it's a teachable moment. You know how she
Yeah.
get me with the questions? Here we go.
I don't usually talk about this stuff because of that. Because I don't want anybody. Y'all do not compare your experience to mine. I have been doing this a long time. So for me, going throughout my life, it's just a part of my life. This it's like it's beyond a movie for me. It's like real experience in a sense. So when I'm communicating with spirit and I'm experiencing it, it could look like spirit actually, I'm seeing them, I'm their energy is present, but it's not like a physical person like us right here. It's more or less like the best way I can describe it is an apparition, right? It's almost as an apparition. But they can come and then they'll talk to me and tell me certain things, they'll show me certain things. I will have, again, the clairvoyance in that way where they'll show me things, and I will see it. And it could be anything. It could be like an object. It could be them in a certain place. It could be a certain event happening. They will, again, the clear audience where they will tell me certain things. I'll be able to, there's Claire's names for all of that too, but I'll be able to taste certain things, smell certain things. It's literally a full body experience. It's a full body experience. The clairsentience for me is the one that I had to communicate with them like, hey y'all, this is not the best for me. Always tell the story about the doing a consultation with the person who had the heart condition, and literally my out of nowhere, I had did multiple consultations that day. Her consultation was next, and out of nowhere my heart started beating real fast. Like I thought I was having a heart attack, but the claircognizance aspect of it was like, this is not for you. This is a message. And I'm like, okay, but y'all, it was so much happening because I'm trying to get my food in between the consultations. My bell is ringing. My niece is on the phone. I'm experiencing this clairsentience, and spirit is like, you got to give this person this message. So all of this is happening at once. I had to tell my niece, I'm gonna call you back, grab my food, call the lady I had the consultation with early. I was like, hey, how you doing? Usually for my consultations, if you ever had one with me, I have a whole intro where I explain what I do, how I do it. I said, hey, how you doing? Do you have heart issues? Okay, do you have a heart problem? And she said yes, and spirit showed me. As soon as she said yes, declare sentience, that part was done. And spirit showed me exactly how they were going to heal it, what was going to happen. I was able to explain all of this to her, and just like that, the feeling is gone. So that's the aspect though that I had to be like, hey spirit, I'm not too much into that. I don't like that too much. I don't want that full physical feeling that like that. You know what I'm saying? So again, all of it is it's really like a real life movie to me. Like if the sister whose grandmother came to me, I was laying in my bed, her grandmother was right on the side of my bed, and we was just having a conversation, and she was telling me what was going to happen. She was telling me what her granddaughter was going to come, and this was going to be her first day in the wellness community, and she was showing me how she feels through clairsentience. She's nervous, she's questioning, she's asking herself this and that, and yada yada yada, and all of that. So that's the best way I can like describe all of it. Then also dreams, I will have it, and they'll come through in dreams. They'll come through from other people. Like I'll get messages from other people. Well, somebody will come, and that's a whole nother story. I've had people come to me. The best way I could describe it. So I had a family member who
So
was
look,
trans.
hold on, Darcel. Darcel said,
Because it's like I don't, the best way I could describe it. I had a family member who was transitioning, and that family member said the family member came through another family member. So what, my cousin was sleeping. My cousin came in the room and literally was like, I love y'all. I'll see y'all soon. And we was like,
mm.
what? I'll see y'all soon. What you mean? What's happening? I gotta go. I'm tired. I'll see y'all soon. I knew. I knew what it was. And he went and laid back, went to sleep, woke up the next day. Our family member had transitioned. So that the things like that will happen sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's a combination of experiences and things, but that's how all of it works and comes through for me. And again, I know the difference after years of tuning. I know what's what and how to accept and how to turn it off.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing something you don't normally share. Because I'm telling you, you just help somebody and you're going to help more people. They'll see this eventually. Now, I don't have the platform that you have. Listen, but the right people will get it when they need it. And somebody needed that. So they knew that they weren't crazy. Because we all go through that. Something isn't right. You know what I'm saying? So now, Darcel, answer the same question, please.
Yes. Well, I think I'll say this. When I was cognizant that there was something spiritually happening, I was experiencing all of the clairs as well. I would literally hear the voice of someone's loved one come through. Actually, the very first person that it happened with, I don't even know, she may be on here. It's with my god sister, and her grandmother, her great grandmother, came through, and it was just annoying. I was like, I just feel physically, I could feel like someone was like standing over me, in the sense that this was like someone with a big presence, and was like no games to be played with. And I also would find that I would start doing stuff outside of my awareness, like tapping or like moving my fingers a certain way, or fidgeting. And it is actually the different characteristics of that particular person that will be coming through. I remember one time I kept rubbing my back, and I'm like, what is the rub in my back? Come to find out that my god sister, when she was a baby, her great grandmother has a picture where she was holding her and rubbing the top part of her back. And so that's what she was illustrating to me, with me wanting to rub my back. But now it is primarily through imagery, and I keep myself a good old journal. That's when y'all see me sit up here writing, where I'm just drawing and or writing whatever I see. And it tends to be that whatever I see, they send that one image. Just like today, if you are in the lighthouse, we're doing our weekly reading. Today, they showed me an X. Okay. But then also with that image of the X, I could see in my mind's eye, it drop down and make a crossroads, and me standing in the center of the crossroads and going different directions. So this was a symbol about, one, not only all of us being in a crossroad, they also showed me an arrow, meaning that we need to make a decision and stick with whatever path we're going with. So it shows up in that way. And there's been times too where, I've had to have the same conversation as Poe did with the spirit, because I was on live and this woman wanted a general reading. Y'all know I sometimes do readings on live. And you only work with a username. That's how I knew the spirit was real. That's also what helped me with trust. I'm like, it's just a username. Their username could be Candy Girl 2656. Okay. But the spirit is the spirit and the energy is energy. She wanted a general reading, y'all. And I was like, okay, let me tap in. I always set my atmosphere. And I always let my space, my environment, my spirit team know that there ain't no foolishness go on here. Ain't no random energies entering in, because I'm opening myself up in that way. And so I tapped in, and immediately, y'all, I got a migraine. And I don't even get headaches. Never have I gotten headaches. So a migraine in the back of my head, pulsing. And I'm like, dear God. And I was getting ready to have to get off the live. Claircognizance dropped in. This is someone who was murdered this way. And so I asked her, I said, Do you know of a clear cognizance, a male, either a younger male, a son, who was killed by way of the head, something with a head injury? And sure enough, she said back in the comments, her son was unalived by gang violence, okay, or by someone shooting him in his head. I'm trying not to get your channel shut down and use the appropriate language. By
Cha-ching.
shooting him in the head. Okay, yeah, cha-ching, hit, right, pow, in the
Yes.
head, right? And so then after that, I saw red flags, actual red flags in my mind's eye. I told her that. She said that it happened to him by way of a blood gang member. And so different symbols show up like that. It also shows up sometimes where I will be in my space and I can't keep my focus off of a particular thing. So it'll be like I'll be sitting here and then my eyes keep wandering to the water bottle, the water bottle, water. And I'm like, okay, I got to talk about this water bottle. I can't take my focus off of this water bottle. And come to find out, the person be like a Pisces and a Cancer rising, Cancer moon, and they need to work with the water element in order to help them. So it comes through a whole bunch of different ways. You just have to go with it. You just have to go with it and see where the end gonna be.
Notice something about what Darcel's saying. He says for him, that's what he recognizes to be for him. Notice he
Yes.
didn't say he opened a dream book or he Googled what that was. That goes into trusting yourself. Even
Yes.
Poe said, I've been doing this so long now, I know and understand this, and this for me, right? Because she trusted herself based on her experiences. She didn't say, I had to go Google, look it up. He gave what his definition of what happened for him. So when everybody goes and looks in a book and they're like, well, the book says if the cup overflows, such and such and such. No. And I just saw someone in the comments say that when something happened, their aunt would see something happen that meant that there was going to be a funeral. For my mother, when she dreams, she'll say, I had a gathering. We'll just see what happens. It's a party, a cookout, whatever, whenever that happens for her. So notice that that is what that is for you. Don't look at other people for their definitions. Write down your own definitions in a book so that you can just keep up with it until you trust yourself completely about what's happening. Start to do that. Keep a little journal and just write it down. You had a dream about something, write it down. I dream very heavy, very, very heavy, and in detail, in living color, and then come back and I write it out. Sometimes I have to sketch, and I'm not the best sketch artist. That's how I knew what my connection to the mothers was. Look, I looked at the time right when I said it because I dreamt of a specific tree, which come to find out I drew the tree first and then I was asking, anybody know what this is? And then I was trying to do the Google search to match the tree. And when I came close to it, I then finally decided, I was like, you know what? Let me send this over to Nigeria and was like, hey, do you know what this tree is right here in my sketch? And immediately he said, yes, it's a Morocco tree. And I was like, excuse me? You know? So he said, it is very much connected to the mothers and it has some other significance as well. Why do you have this tree? And then we went through my whole dream and everything. So do and trust you. Take your own notes. Whatever you can relate it to you. Don't look to anybody else to validate you. You validate you. Hey, Diddy. So
Yeah.
let me see if there's some questions. We'll take them for like the next 5 minutes, and then we're gonna get off this joint. I
Why we
hope.
got to get off? I thought we was coming to have fun, lighthearted conversation. I didn't
No, I had to
know.
do hard. I had to do hardcore first. You want to get fun now? You know,
I
you're
just want the
always the one
community
that
to
when we
know that.
tell you that we're playing Frankie Beverly and Maze. She did this to Darcel too. We got Frankie Beverly and Maze on, and you the one that's like, but the party needs to keep going. Okay, we can be lighthearted after this. Let's ask some questions because you know I don't want to sit here
Yeah.
and be doing chapters.
You know, Reese, like I'm like, I did not pitch it. I pitched it to the community how it was pitched to me. Okay.
Yes, true. That's a fuck. Come on. Well, did you
I
not
know.
learn a lesson? Did you not get in there? Okay, let's
It-
go. Let's go. We'll answer some questions and then let's get the party started because we didn't do the electric
It's
slide and
sweeping.
play and play Frankie Beverly. So if you have any questions, ask them now. And if you don't, we about to play some Frankie Beverly and transition to the acting up.
Not that.
We got to give Poe at least a few acting up minutes. And you know what? That's the only thing I'm going to tag in this thing. I'm going to tag the end, acting up.
Acting up. But no, I do think that the conversation on, and this right here is for anybody who is unsure about what your spiritual gift looks like, right? Okay, boom. That's literally the question. So
Yeah,
Janine,
go ahead.
go ahead.
That's how you
Oh,
knew
okay.
because it came to you already. See how they do
It
her?
came to me already. I was
Yep.
about to talk about this. So Janine Griffith said, "How would you know if your child has these gifts? How can you, as a parent, support them and keep them from being scared?"
They
What I was
talk
going to
about it to you. They'll talk to you about it. Don't you know what parents tend to do when they don't walk in a space? They negate what their children say. So imaginary friends aren't always imaginary. Well, what do they look like? Well, how are they? What did you do with them today? Because I used to play with a whole bunch of them, and they were just spirits around the places that we lived. So I was like, "Hey, this is such and such." When they say they felt something or they heard somebody call their name, ask them, "Well, what did the voice sound like? Did it make you feel comfortable, or did you not feel comfortable?" So then you know what kind of energy they're dealing with, right? So you talk to them just like they're little human beings, as if you would want someone to talk to you to ask you the questions. The more inquisitive you are, and the more understanding you are without negating their emotions or their feelings, the more they'll come to you with it. Then you can cultivate what's going on from that point. And if you're not someone that has that type of gift, then look it up and try your best to understand where they're coming from. But the more you allow them to express themselves and you don't tell them that they're wrong or no, they're not seeing that or you don't believe them, because that's important to your children, the better that they'll be. So validate them and listen to them. Poe, do you have something to add to that?
So essentially, I was just gonna say, there's value in connecting with your divine self, connecting with your Ori, when it comes to discovering your own spiritual gifts, because it's a lot of questions about that, as well as helping your children discover theirs. If you are a parent who has a child that has shown signs of being gifted, you have to model. You are your child's first model. That's the best form of parenting, is to be a model. So when you model for your children what it looks like to be open about your gifts, when you model for your children what it looks like to talk about it and to accept it and to explore it, that's how they will truly learn, through modeling. So you yourself show them or talk about you on the journey of discovering your spiritual gifts and tapping into them. You yourself did. I'm talking to the people. You yourself talk about what it looks like for you to feel connection with spirit and to hear them and to talk to them and to having dreams. You could say, "Oh, I had a dream last night that such and such happened. It was such a beautiful experience." Matter of fact, I feel like maybe it was a lucid dream because I felt like, and then describe what lucid dreaming is. And this is how you open up conversations with your children and you model for them what it looks like to be comfortable in their spiritual gifts. You have to model it, but you cannot model it if you are not in that space yourself. So I advise, get into that space with yourself. Get into that space with yourself. Connect to your own Ori. Connect to your own spiritual gifts, your own connection with the divine higher source through your divine self. Do the work for you so that you can be an excellent model for your children. Because when it's just normalized in the house, as I talked about earlier with my experience growing up, I never felt like I was evil or felt like it was something wrong with me or I was mentally unwell, because these were normal conversations. It was normal that such and such had a gift. It was normal that this happened, or we knew, or this person was pregnant. We smelt the milk coming and we knew, spirit showed me. That was normal. So when I'm young and I'm telling my cousin, "Hey, I dreamed about your baby," and da 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 da, and she's just like, "Oh, okay, for real." And then next thing you know, a couple months later, boom, she's pregnant. You know, that was normal because it was modeled for me. I didn't have to have anybody tell me I was okay. I didn't have to have anybody tell me anything. They showed me that I was okay. They showed me how to tap into your gifts. They showed me how to understand signs and symbols for you. They modeled it for me. That's how you can be a better parent to a spiritually gifted child, is you be a spiritually gifted parent. So tap into your own spiritual gifts, connect to your own Ori, and model for your children, model for, even if it's not your children. I'm the model for my nieces and nephews. I'm the model for other folks around me who got kids, my friends' kids. They know that now I'm the auntie that's spiritually gifted. Now I'm the auntie that got that do this, and I'm the auntie. You know what I'm saying? So you just be the model, and all of that will transition to the kids. They will follow your lead, not your words.
Absolutely.
Come on now, people.
That's everything. That's everything. And with that idea or that truth of them following your lead, if you greet their gifts with fear, they will be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
If you greet their gifts when they're telling you the things that they're saying with a and all this stuff, they're going to be scared, and they're not even going to be and then they will then start attracting negative experiences for themselves because they have made a negative and fearful association with those events. So they take it off of you. Even if you got to smile and nod right then, and then as soon as they go in the other room, panic and message and book a session with EI, with myself, or with Chloe, do that. But do not model fear to the children, because you model fear to the children are going to be afraid. And because they pick up off of you, they are your children. They pick up off of your energy. So I would say that be, as Poe said, in alignment with your divine self, and also be knowledgeable. Be knowledgeable. And as long as they're like, okay, be okay. Don't greet their gifts with fear.
Thank you. Now this one's easy. Book a session with Darcel.
Period.
That's it. Darcel, what's your website? I'm going to put his contact information all the way down, but
yeah, well, it's right there in my bio, Linktree/Darcel Andre. That'd be the easiest way to book a session. But yeah, do that. Any of my socials have my link in the bio. Mm-hmm.
Are you born with gifts? Are you born with gifts or developed? Are you saying, are you born or do you develop gifts?
Well,
everybody's born with gifts. It's just up to them to be open to spirit to develop it.
Right. There's a difference between having it and having it developed. You can be born with it, but you do develop and get clearer with it. But everyone's,
Some you'll hear call it a veil. In the South, they call it you born with a veil.
Listen, come on, a veil.
Mm-hmm. Are there any spiritual practices or cleansing that you do to keep the gift active? Okay, so no, and let me explain why. Because your gift is part of you and who you are, so there's nothing really that you do to keep it active. When you have, I guess, be in a good space, because if you're stressed, you're going to suppress some things. But the biggest part of your question is a little backwards to me, because one of the first things in spirituality that you should always do before you do anything outside of trusting yourself is to protect yourself. Operate in the space of prayer to protect yourself from things that you don't want coming your way or dealing with. So if that's what you're looking at as far as cleansing, I'm thinking that's what it is. Then that's the kind of cleansing you should do. You should protect your space, protect you as an individual. Protection work is the groundwork for everything else, because people don't realize when you're protecting yourself and you're doing like the workings that Poe teaches you, right, and that Darcel teach you, those workings in itself will then hit people where they need to be hit when they're trying to come your way. It's not that you're sending it out there and striking people down. It's they're sending whatever they're sending to you, and then whatever needs to happen to protect you protects you, because you protected yourself already. You started at the beginning. Now, Poe, you got this look on your face. So either you hearing something or you want to say something. What's going on?
Because so I'm like I'm doing a combination of things. I'm reading the chat and then I'm also listening to you at the same time. So the variety of facial expressions. But as far as the question, first off, shout out to Adiola. Hey, Adiola, I love you, girl. You know how I feel about you. But okay, so Adiola said, are there any spiritual practices or cleanses that you do to keep the gift active? Again, y'all, we have to be mindful that everybody's experiences are different, you know, and that's why I said this is not a topic I like to talk about like that, because there is no one general answer that works for everyone. Everybody's experiences are different. For some folks, if they don't do certain things, your gift can either get overwhelming, right? Or it will completely shut down and they will feel like they're not hearing from spirit anymore. And I've heard that multiple times where people will say, you know, I used to have this gift when I was younger, but I'm not hearing from them anymore. They're not coming through to me anymore. They don't talk to me like they used to. I'm not dreaming like I used to. And they feel like their gift is inactive, right? If they were a dreamer or spirit used to talk to them, so on and so forth. What I would say is, oftentimes when spirit is being ignored, they will transition forms or methods of communication. They will change how they communicate because they're thinking, okay, well, you're not receiving it this way. Well, let me come this way. You're not receiving it in the dream. So let me practice the clear audience. You're not receiving the clear audience. Well, let me try the clear cognizance. You're not paying attention to the clear cognizance. Well, let me try the clear sentience. And spirit is always trying to shape shift and get to you how they could get to you. The spirit little Kim with it. Okay. Spirit, like I'm trying to come through, but you ain't listening to me. You know what I'm saying? What we doing? So oftentimes, you know, folks who are not adhering to their gift, it will feel as though spirit has stopped communicating with them or stopped being active. And the thing is, it's not necessarily that they're inactive. They may have just changed form. So for spiritual practices or cleansings that I advise doing is I always try to focus on various aspects of my gift. I always try to focus on various aspects of my communication with spirit. So I will literally have times where I do cleansing work and spiritual practices to cater to, or I'll say treat my dreams. So that's why when I talk to y'all about dream work, and I'm like, you know, that my lemon balm, my chamomile, my passion flower, my blue verine, my mugwort. When I'm catering to my spiritual dream communication, I drink my herbs, I take a spiritual baths connected to that. I do certain things before I go to sleep because I want to focus on my dream communication. When I'm focusing on enhancing or maybe fine tuning my clear cognizance and clear audience and things like that, I do specific things, spiritual cleanses and baths. I burn certain herbs in my house, smudging, in order to cater to that part of my gifts. So I just advise, find the spiritual practice and always keep spiritual practices that really help you cleanse and fine tune certain parts of your gift, certain aspects of your gift. Do dream work, have your herbs and things like that too, that enhances your dreams. I have a video on that, youtube.com/JaQueenPo. Video on all kind of herbs and things that you can use in order to enhance your dream work. Go watch my spiritual gift videos where I discuss the 4 clairs, because I literally give advice on how to fine tune those gifts. Anything that you go a long time ignoring will die. It just will. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend with anybody like spirit is going to keep on nagging you until you finally answer the call. It ain't like that for some people. Sometimes they're going to say, okay, well, you ain't listen to that part. Let me try this thing. You ain't listen to that thing. Okay, you just ain't ready. When you ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the medium is ready, spirit will appear. You got to get yourself ready. So find the spiritual practice or cleansing method that is for you. And for anybody who is overwhelmed and the gifts is too much, then for me, I advise just doing a complete cleansing, Patreon.com/the Queen Poe. Do the 111 bath. That's in there, a complete spiritual cleansing, and get that energy up out of you, get all that energy off from you, and then you could do some offerings to welcome them back. That's when you get your empapu, you could do whatever, your bay leaf, you could do your basil, get dispel those energies and do a complete cleansing and start over.
Period. I know for me with that, I have to get my mind under control, because my mind is where the doubt comes in. My mind is where I'm like, is this really that, or is it really this? So a lot of my practices are learning how to get my mind out of the way and get out of my own way. And so for me, that shows up in the form of what my spiritual practice are: daily affirmations, meditation of how to center myself, not necessarily always emptying my mind of thoughts, but focusing my thoughts in a specific direction. And anytime that I can think of when I have been in uncertainty or whatever, when using my gifts, is really because I'm doubting myself. And doubting is not a fruit of the spirit, or a fraction of a function of the spirit. Doubting comes by way of your brain and your trauma thoughts, and I don't want to be wrong and all this. And so I keep my mind together. And when my mind is together, and I said, "Mind, we tap into the spirit," my mind can move slightly to the left and let the spirit come in to bring forth the information. So that's what I do. Get my mind out the way.
Thank you so much for this compliment. And there's something that I want to say, because I just saw this too, so that you can know where we stand on this. And then we're going to have some fun. Okay? It's right here. Right here. This statement right here. This trifecta believes in therapy. So I need to make sure that y'all are aware. We believe in therapy. We believe in whatever you need to do wellness wise that may be man-made to help you get to where you need to be, so you can receive the things that aren't man-made to be able to do it. We believe in that, because you can't get help on our end if you're not well. And you need to do whatever you need to do to get well. And for those of you questioning, and now I'll change it back to an EFA perspective, EFA will tell your ass to go to the doctor. EFA will tell you to get help. EFA will put you on Front Street. Like, do whatever you need to do. We're going to make sure that it won't be horrible, but at least you have a solution. Because let me tell you one thing that I learned through my experience in the NICU. The one thing you always want, everybody gets scared that there's a problem, but I always want a problem that has a solution. And there's nothing worse than having a problem that you don't have a solution for and you can't figure out what it is and how to fix it. So start off. We're not saying you need to stay doing whatever you're doing. We are not therapists. We are not certified therapists. We will send your ass to therapy, and you will be told you need to go to the doctor. So we can do herbalism and things all day, but Olodumare did not create shit to sit there. So get the help you need so that you can receive and be at peace on your spiritual journey. Okay? That's how this trifecta works. I can't talk to nobody else. I'm just letting you know what it is over here. We're not gonna be like, go blow some smoke and shake rocks, in the words of Darcel. You're gonna be great when you wake up in the morning. We're not gonna do that. Poe's not gonna be like, just drink these herbs over 7 days and you'll be healed. She's not gonna do that. Okay. All right. Now, Poe, since you were the master of ceremonies for teaching people how to sing properly, and also which one has to go, how would you like to lead our now the end of our congregational movement, of how we get into ceremony of foolery?
I don't. What was y'all? So what was y'all talking about earlier? Oh Jesus!
Come on now. Come on.
Good.
She had the rock shake.
I'm knocking tables and I'm shaking the table. Okay,
shaking the table.
Shout out to K Michelle. But
what were we talking about earlier? Talking about Darcel and I.
Yeah, when y'all called me, that's why I thought we was having a fun live because y'all called me fun.
Oh,
So
yes.
what was that?
Yes. We were talking about you being asleep.
Unapologetic.
That's what we were talking about.
That's what we were talking about when we called you.
Let me tell y'all
Sleep.
something. Family, wellness community. Y'all know, so we did a Zoom last night with the wellness community. It was 3.5 hours, which is very short for the wellness community. That's a short Zoom. I did the Zoom with them last night. I was cutting up on the live with Darcel, and then afterward, I was up until about 9, a little before 9 a.m. Last time I checked my phone, actually, it was 9:03. But yes, it was because I was expecting the call from EI. The agreement was it was gonna happen early in the morning, like 4 or 5. So I had took a nap yesterday, and I was like, I'm gonna stay up all night so I could be prepared. And then
and then I stood her up. I stood her
I
up.
figured it's okay. I figured some changes happen. No pressure. We just go with the flow of the universe. But let me tell y'all something. The way I'm set up, I may only sleep, and I've been like this since I was young. I may only sleep for 4 or 5 hours. I usually don't. I'm not an 8-hour sleeper. I usually sleep about 4 or 5 hours. But when I sleep, I sleep. You hear me? I get 4 hours of deep rest.
Deep,
okay,
deep.
That deep rest. I get that
Deep.
Tony Braxton rest. I get that deep rest. I'm if it's 5 stages of sleep, I'm at stage 5. I'm at stage 5.5. I'm below the bottom level of sleep. I'm 2 steps from dead. You hear me? Okay. so when I'm knocked out, it's only 4 or 5 hours, but I get me a strong foe. Okay, strong foe.
Queen, I have to clarify this.
They missed the Zoom. They want to know who won the verses last.
Is that a question?
Yeah, it was a question. Who won the verses last night? I.e., when you all were talking about who you worked with.
Here she go. Queen,
y'all know.
Listen, Queen Poe's resume is much longer than mine.
Much, greatly longer. The thing is, as the vocal goddess, it's not even a verses. I don't even understand why we're using that language. It was a master class. It was a lesson I was given. I don't even understand why we're using the language of verses as though there was competition. I don't understand. I don't understand why we are. So let's shift perspectives. The master class was well. Darcel was an excellent student.
What John Henry Clark say? I only debate my peers, all others I teach.
And I talk well.
Facts.
But Queen Poe, I have to understand this. You said you stayed up till 9 a.m.
Yeah. The last time I checked the clock, it was 9:03 because the agreement was that the call was going to be around 4 or 5 hour time, 4 or 5 a.m. So, but I figured, I know that things happen, and I remember that you did have another one scheduled at 4. So I just figured, okay, maybe they run it late. But once around 8 o'clock hit, that's when I was like, okay, it's that. No pressure. Like I said, we're gonna go with the flow of the universe. If it's meant to, y'all should know me by now, to the point that I am very much I flow in ease. My philosophy is, if it's meant for me to be there, I will be there. If it's not, however it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. That's it. That's it. So I just released it, and it has been released. And look, now we have a new time. Everything is happening in wellness, and it's all just calm and flow and ease. But what was your question, Darcel? What you had to say?
No, I understand now that I heard the time, because I was gonna say, so your solution to getting up in the morning was to stay up.
Yeah.
But I got it. I understand now. I'm clear on it.
Yeah, that's the solution for me. If you tell me something is at 4 a.m., I'd rather stay up at 4 a.m. than to go to sleep and have to wake up at 4 a.m.
I receive.
I will. Yeah.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
One has to go. Spades, poker, Uno.
Poker. Who the fuck? We ain't in Vegas.
We gonna see.
I'm not in Vegas.
Poker will have to go.
Sonia, yes, she was. You said poker has to go?
Poker has to go.
Yes.
It is too much of an African American staple
Space.
to remove spades. It is something about the grab of the card up here,
Yes.
and it is a craft to it. When you
Yes.
have that card that's getting ready to cut through, and you must
Yes.
circulate it around, and when you release it, there has to be
A
an
snap.
audible sound from forth the smackage of the card and from forth the throat chakra.
Yeah.
Around, that's what we need. If it's not that, what are you doing? It is too much of a staple for us.
My
to get
favorite Darcel is when they stick it on the forehead. That's my favorite. When they slap it on the forehead, you got to do that one. That's
now
the
go ahead,
favorite.
now
Right,
go ahead.
right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
Ah.
That's it. That's my favorite.
That's
Spades is a staple. And then see, Uno is for the people who grew up neglected and didn't learn how to play spades. So we got to keep Uno in the community because it's so that our neglected folks could feel included. So they have something universal to play, and that's what Uno is for. It's for the abandoned. So we'll we let that one stay.
So then, if that's for the abandoned, what would you do with Monopoly, Sorry, and Shoots and Ladders?
Those are the ones that absolutely have nothing else to do. Nothing. Y'all are playing Monopoly.
I haven't played that in years. You know how long a Monopoly game takes?
Monopoly. There's nothing
I don't have the
to
attention span. Right. I don't
learned
have
it late.
Span,
She said, "I'm West Indian." Let me put this on here. She said, "I'm West Indian. I learned spades late."
Poor thing.
Shoots and Ladders. I agree.
And this is one of the things that we have to discuss about the diaspora. There are a lot of disadvantages that have come from forth the separation.
But I can't allow her to do spades like that because you West Indian, because it's I can't allow it. That we not accepting that excuse. Just go ahead and say your family don't love you like that. Just keep it there.
Manny said, "Look what Manny said. These are church games."
Right.
You are at the Holiness Episcopal Olodumare Ifa Baptist Seventh Adventist. This is after we just had our whole sermon. We gave y'all the lessons, and this is afterwards.
Come on, Nova said, what about dominoes? Let me tell you something, and I'm glad Rain corrected because we call it bones. Okay, you throwing them bones. Okay, that's how people say it when they be like, "Oh, you throwing bones." That's the first thing that comes to my mind is dominoes, and I'll be like, "Oh, they talking about divination. They talking about divination." But when it comes to dominoes, we do that. We do dominoes. Y'all gotta remember my father's from Panama. That's it. That Panamanians, Cubans, all the Afro Latinos. That the bones. That's a part. That's their version of spades. Okay, and Deep South. If you're from the Deep
and
South,
the Deep South, yes, that's what I should have put up there. It should have been spades, dominoes, and what's another one?
You said Uno, spades, dominoes, and Uno. Uno would have had to go. If dominoes was in there, Uno would have had to go.
Uno would definitely have to go. Real. Yeah, dominoes. Yes, dominoes is another one that requires you to. In fact, I think it is actually beneficial to your mental health because the release of stress when you slap that down on the table, when you start off with the big six, when you slap it down on the table, it is exhilarating and a release of stress. We try to tell you that these practices here is not simply just fun and games, it's scientific. Let's get clear.
It really is.
Let's get
I played hopscotch and marbles. True.
I didn't play marbles. We play in New York. We have a game. If any New Yorkers is watching this, y'all better pull up in the chat. In New York, we have a game called Skelly. So I play hopscotch and Skelly. And with Skelly, you basically use it's a whole thing. We used to have to put like wax, or you could melt down a crayon. You could do all kind of things, but you put it on top of a cap, like melt it in a cap. And the more your cap had to be the perfect combination of light and heavy, because the key is you flick it. So we draw a board on the sidewalk and there's numbers in it, and you gotta flick it. You flick the cap and then you add up the numbers. It's like a whole thing. But yeah, come on.
Yeah, I'm like, how did you melt these crayons? Y'all were playing with fire lighters?
Literally, yes. You would literally take a lighter and melt the crayon down until you used to take a milk cap or a bottle cap, like a Gatorade cap like this. You could use this. You could use a milk cap or something else. But yes, Skelly was a Skelly was a thing. That's the thing. We play in the street. Exactly. We play in the street. Double Dutch. I was not the best double dutcher, but I could double dutch. But I was not the best double dutcher. I could, you know what? I could jump in, but when it came to keeping it, I don't have rhythm, y'all. So anything that requires rhythm didn't work for me.
You had to get in and get out, and that's a lesson. That's a life lesson. Sometimes you gotta get in, and you gotta know when to get out.
Come on. Gotta
get in. Then you gotta
freeze tag. We did freeze tag heavy. We did. I got suspended off of freeze tag in school.
Not suspended.
Ain't that crazy? I got suspended because of freeze tag. Quarter water caps.
I don't know what quarter water. Okay.
Yes, Max. Quarter water caps. A quarter water. So in New York, a quarter water could be anything. A quarter water could be the small mini bottles of water, or it could be like the little down south. Y'all call them hugs juices. That's also a quarter water. A quarter water could be multiple things, okay? But it's any type of little, back in the day, it was any type of little small juice that cost a quarter or 50 cents. Sometimes the prices went up. Now I think it might be $1.
Like 5-cent candy.
Yeah, or see, we say penny candy.
Penny, yes, okay.
Yeah, penny candy. Kickball in the street. Yes, kickball, Miss
Kickball. Come on, kickball.
Yeah, you know what was the worst? The worst part of kickball, y'all, is when you used to play kickball and you cock that leg back and you boom and you hit the ball all the way out and then somebody catch that bitch. I used to be so
it's horrible. And you're like, no.
You kick it, that ball go flying, you start running thinking you got it, and then boom, somebody catch it. You like, ow!
Have I not given everything?
I'm doing. Yes, Nova said red light, green light, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yay! Red light, green light, absolutely.
Y'all are going so fast. I saw Ding Dong Dash, Deirdre, but I can't get back to it.
Yes, we used to call it Negro knocking.
Yeah,
with the GGA.
You had to live in a suburban community, and the projects it takes you too long because you got to run down the steps. Somebody is gonna come out and see your ass.
Yes.
You was not playing that in no apartment buildings, okay?
She said, "I'm trying to cook and I can't stay out the chat."
You know, you on the 5th floor and you got to try to run down, right, Max? Come on, Max is from the Bronx. Come on, Max, you already know. You already know. We can't really play that. You got to go to the other neighborhoods to play that one.
Listen.
Yeah. Max, you a gangster. I became with my cousins. It was the most confusing summer of my life. Listen. The best ones, though. The best ones. Max said she played Ding Dong Ditch in the projects. You a gangster, Max. I was scared.
So, all right, give me another set of 3s that took y'all back to your childhood. Sleepovers, camping, or there's one more because people camp in their backyard. Camping in your backyard, sleepover in the house, and then what's the other one? There's one more.
The camping is gone. Don't even worry about the third. The camping is gone.
There has to be some Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or something in here. Y'all not some scouts.
The camping is gone.
No scouts.
It's okay. Don't worry about y'all. So we're gonna skip that one. The camping is out. The camping is out. I'm not
Look,
finna be out there. I'm not finna be out there at all. It's out.
That was-
no parts, huh?
No parts. We want no parts. I got
Okay,
one. One gotta go. One gotta
I
go.
was a Girl Scout. Come on, no. Come on.
Who was a
You were
Girl
earning them
Scout?
badges. You went camping.
That was
It's
hilarious.
gonna be. It's gonna be a no.
You can always tell how somebody grew up based on conversations like
On the
this.
conversations
Okay,
they had.
because who was camping?
I was, but I
first
was a
off,
Girl Scout.
Who had a backyard? Huh? Who
I
had a
did
backyard?
because we had one in South
Had a
Carolina.
backyard. I was not gonna be out there. Bugs.
That one question let me know everything I needed to know.
Yeah,
Backyard, Girl Scouts, what?
all of it. And then my dad pitched his military tent in the backyard.
Not camping, sleepover, and spending the night. Come on,
Yes,
spending the
let's
night.
go. Sleep on and spinning.
Spending-
There was a
we
difference.
spending the night. I have one. Okay, wait. One gotta go. Cookies, cake, or ice cream. One gotta go.
Ice cream, because the way my lactose intolerance is set up. Let's be
Listen, we about to disagree again on a live.
Ice cream
Cookies.
is gonna have to stay.
Ice cream got to stay.
Ice cream is gonna have to stay in all forms. It's
If
gonna
ice
have to
cream
stay.
stays, I'm clearing the room immediately after
Listen.
consumption. Okay, the room is cleared. Okay,
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get
You
you,
can't
what do
have
they call them now? Frozen desserts, not made with milk.
right. And that,
These are non-dairy ones.
The non-dairy.
yes,
Cookies will have to go
Yeah, cookies gotta go.
because pound cake is here to stay.
cake is staying guaranteed. The thing for me with the cookie is there's so many good things about a cookie, but the best thing with a cookie is the smell. The
Yes.
smell. When a cookie is baking just like a cake, you could really it will change your whole life. It will change your mood. That's literally what is it called? It's what's the therapy for scent? Aromatherapy.
Aroma.
Yeah.
Smelling cookies is literally aromatherapy. I can it uplifts my spirit. Huh? It just uplifts my
Yes.
spirit. Chocolate
It
chip
takes you to the next level.
to the next level. Now I got one gotta go. Best smells. One gotta go. Cookies, bacon, smelling bacon in the morning. Thanksgiving dinner as a whole. Soul food cooking.
Bacon has to go.
Bacon.
Bacon has to go.
Bacon has to go.
Oh, same for me. That's okay, y'all. So that was too easy.
Oh, we agree.
Too
I
easy.
don't
Yes.
dine. I don't dine with the swine.
Reset. Thanksgiving gotta go. Reset.
Oh.
Thanksgiving gotta go. Okay.
You be the. Are you the only one?
Oh,
I
she
don't
said
dine-
Thanksgiving is the best. Okay, reset.
Oh, okay,
Reset is
all
correct.
right.
Reset. Thanksgiving is the
Thank
best.
you for correcting yourself.
Okay.
and getting
Okay,
it
all
right.
right. Turkey
Yeah.
But
bacon.
I don't dine with the swine, my brother. Y'all have to elevate y'all minds.
Right.
No,
Right. No, I don't.
it's
I
bacon.
don't eat no pork
Bacon.
either. But bacon is a smell that people love. Anytime I have that
I've heard
conversation, folks
people
battle
been
it out.
having
Bacon.
bacon scented candles. That is
Yes.
outrageous
I don't need
to
that.
me.
I don't need that in my life.
Yes. Folks usually bacon is the one that folks is like, nope, the bacon stays. Anytime I have that conversation, it's cookies that has to go. People always want Thanksgiving dinner and bacon. And I'm like, how?
Bacon is gonna have to go, y'all.
Yeah, the bacon go.
Yeah.
Listen. Yeah,
We got
I
one
don't
more.
understand.
They said a candle.
Bacon candle.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me one more to compare.
Another one.
And another one.
Another one.
I don't know. Let's see.
Oh, I got one.
Ooh,
This
what's
is-
sexy?
What?
What's sexy? Tattoos, piercings, or what's another one? Give me a third one. Darcel, where did your mind go?
Ah.
Beards. He said beards, tattoos, piercing, and then said beards. Well, we need it for it to be non-gender specific.
Well,
What's
scents. People find scents really attractive.
All right, so fragrances. So
What
which
is
one?
This is what is more sexy out of the three.
Yes.
Wait, Jack says silhouettes. So Jack said no warped up shapes.
not the silhouette, James. Not
What's
the
more
silhouette.
attractive, tattoos, piercings, or fragrance? Fragrance. It's gonna be fragrance for me.
Deirdre, we feel you, but it's just when you look at someone, you still can say whether someone is sexy or not by looking at them or something that they have on them. So, what one of those things do you consider to be sexy?
It's gonna
Someone
be fragrance for me.
You said fragrance. It smell good.
Yes. Yes.
Poe's still thinking.
No, I'm not thinking. I already have my decision. I was waiting for Darcel to finish. For me, it's tattoos. I like a body that tells a story. I like a body that tells a story. So for me, tattoos. Fragrance is not a big deal for me because I am, not to sound like that, but y'all, I'm usually gonna change a man's scent anyway. I'm very.
Hold on. Hold on. Let this be.
Did you say you're gonna change a man's scent anyway?
Absolutely. That's exactly what she said.
I use it's not even like trying to be like, but the people around me in general, usually when I meet folks, I ended up putting them onto oils and different like herbal fragrances and things like that. So this has been friends. This is just people who I meet. I've never had a dated a man and he's not changed his scent. It's usually going to move to something natural. I'm not into the Gucci cologne and the Polo cologne and all of that shit. I'm not into that type of shit. It's always they're going to move to something natural. So for me, tattoos is a thing. Tattoos is the thing.
Wait, Darcel, before you say anything, cologne, go ahead.
Right. Well, first of all, Poe, you're controlling. Just say that. Say you're controlling. Just say it.
I don't tell them to do it.
And I am controlling.
I don't tell them to do it. I don't tell them. I don't even request them to do it. I really don't. I genuinely don't. I don't tell them. I don't request it. They just get curious. They get curious.
For me, fragrance is very important because scents matter to me. There are some people that like their significant others to smell sweaty. That's not my energy. I don't like that at all. Okay. I don't like that at all.
I'm not gonna front. I do like a little fresh from the gym. Sometimes, not all the time though. You can't smell like that all the time. But I do like a man's natural scent. I do. A man's natural scent to me smells good. I like that. I like a little pheromone. I like when it smells a little pheromone. I like to be able to, especially like this is a little weird. I like to smell a man's scalp.
Out of all the body parts.
I know, like literally the crown of their head. I literally like to smell their crown. I like to smell like the deep scent of a man's scalp, armpit, things like that. For real, like you smell under a man's arms. I enjoy that. The smell, the pheromone, yes. It's like a little subtle musk. I like that. Y'all, if we gonna be real. Y'all ain't never did nothing nasty after work. Y'all ain't never did nothing nasty after work, and you ain't real if your man don't come home and you don't went fresh from work. You ain't a real one. You ain't a real one.
Smelling, in the South they call it smelling like outside.
Listen, okay. Well, I'm
listen.
Them outside balls to chin. You hear me? Look at Darcel froze.
Follow it up.
I'm just saying.
It's gonna have to be. And hey, who are me to judge? Who
Yes,
are me?
right.
You know, hey, if that's what you like, I do not. I am not interested in that. I'm not saying that there are those natural things, but to intentionally submerge my nose into their armpit, I'm not doing that.
Oh wow. Oh
Wow.
wow.
Did you say wow? I'm not getting ready to go in and then breathe in.
Exactly.
Jax. Don't try to bring the spirit into this.
No, because let me tell y'all something. Jax,
Peace.
if you know, you know. If you know, you know, honey. I could teach a class. I could teach a class on this alone. I could teach a class on this alone. It's a reason they still be right here. It's a reason. It's a reason, honey. I could teach a class on this alone. Literally, the art of spiritual seduction. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, honey. Okay, but y'all do what serves you. Do what serves you.
This is why you got to be careful of the spiritual.
How you bring the mic in?
This is why you got to be careful of the spiritual ones. Run. If she just never know. Like Queen Poe, run.
They ain't gonna go nowhere. Run. They not gonna go nowhere.
I don't
forever
know. I like
be in the cohort.
I like clean scents, clean. Wait a minute. Now, what you're speaking to about being in the heat of a moment, I can understand that. But that is not my preference.
Listen, it's I don't know. I go with the flow for the moments. And that's one thing. And tell me how y'all feel about this. I don't take well to like planning things, like planned moments, like, you know, like, oh, like I'm not the person who's like, oh, I want to have a whole thing planned and we gonna do this and this is how it's gonna go. I'm very go with the flow. Like I have to be in the moment in that moment. I'm not good at the whole planning of when we gonna, you know, be intimate and having a schedule set and all of that. And maybe because I don't have any children, so I don't have to, but I'm go with the flow. So sometimes it's like, hey, we could be in the car and I'm ready. You could be coming home and I'm ready. Like in that moment when I want it, I want it. And that's just what it is. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what we've been doing. I don't care where we at. When I want it to bring that dickhead on.
When Darcel brings his mic to his mouth.
That's it.
Queer men don't have that luxury.
Okay.
Not all the time.
We weren't ready. We weren't ready for that.
I forgot. I forgot there's preparation.
There has to be some level of preparation for that level of festivities, but not, you know, there's something
for other things
can be done. Things
right. Y'all, I have a whole story time about that. So sometimes, y'all, what I do is I'm the free flowing friend that records my friend's sessions, right? So my friend and his band was having a session.
Darcel's face.
How I learned about the preparation, my friend and his man was having a session and they wanted me to record. So I was recording it. And like right before we got started, they went through their prep checklist. Like
Darcel can't even get over he can't get over the first part. He's trying to listen to the story, but the way he's off to the side, he's not there. I need you to pay attention in class, son.
Y'all ain't never recorded nobody.
Let the poem teach you.
You on mute, Darcel. You on mute.
No, I hear him.
Oh, I can't.
Am I muted?
I can hear you now.
Okay, go ahead.
There's some other stuff going on here, Queen. This is a very, you know how you say we're talking about spiritual gifts earlier and how everyone has their own. You can't compare. This is just yours. This is yours. This is. I am not in there like. Now I have to understand this. Are you commenting? Are you giving suggestions?
Sometimes I'll hype them up. I'll cheer. Yeah. So let me ask this there. If I said, Darcel, me and my man gonna have a session, I want to record it. It's gonna be a birthday gift for him. You wouldn't record it for us?
No. I don't want to see you in that way. Don't think that is too close?
Darcel, you wouldn't watch me have sex?
No, girl. I'm not going to be in there. What am I going to do? What? Isn't that strange? You would. I wouldn't know how to converse with you.
I'm glad I know the limits of our friendship now. I had no idea.
I'm a fit queen. I can't. That's not strange.
No.
Oh.
No. Are you
really?
Okay, let's ask a base question. Are you how do you feel about nudity? Like if I was getting undressed in front of you, would you be like would that bother you, or are you comfortable with that?
That would not bother me. No, that would not bother me. But you are in the midst of being dropping it low and spreading it wide. I don't want to be there. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, come on, Zod. Listen, hey,
I'll put it up. Hold
I don't mind putting on a little show. Okay, I don't mind. And I don't also like if you be like, hey, Queen, me and my partner got something going on, and we, it's their birthday. I want to record this session. Would you mind being our camera? I'm in there with the light. For my records. I'm in there. Really? I'm getting all of the angles. Yes, I'm a supportive friend. I'm a holistically supportive friend. Okay.
Well, I've never had anyone ask me to do that. I just feel like that is a. I don't know. That's a little intimate.
I feel like your tribe isn't freaky enough. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, because if your tribe. If somebody is desiring to have a professionally recorded session, they don't want to just prop the camera up on the tripod. They want to have some good angles and really create creative film per se. I'm on the production team.
Excuse me. They talked to me in song. All I heard was Adina Howard. I'm gonna be a freak.
Oh, my nasty grind. That one.
No, I'm gonna be a freak until the dawn.
Okay. I was thinking nasty grind. Okay.
Yes.
Well, when you phrase it in that way, if you're like, no, we need this to be a production. I perhaps would be more open to it, but I just would that is just close. And for me to be right there in the midst.
Listen, I've definitely, like I said, I was there from the beginning. They had to prep. That's how I learned about the prep process. They prepped. I didn't record that part, of course, but before we started, we went through the checklist. Everything is prepped. They had things on the side just in case the prep wasn't prepped enough and they needed to do like a quick cleanup or anything. We have things going for all, and we just made sure the environment was right. And honey, it was a session. I was the camera woman. And yes, Deidre, I was the hype. I'm like, yes, go harder. That was me. Go harder. Spread it. Throw it back. Yes, throw it back. That's me. Oh yeah. You better get it. Spread it open. Yes, that's me. That's me.
This is why they be reckless in the wellness community, because look who their leader is. Look at their leader. Look at their leader.
Come on,
From
wellness
the
community,
head
butterflies
down.
in the sky. I can go twice as high. Okay.
What y'all
From
don't know
the
is
head
typically
down.
they go off in their own magical land, and I just listen while I'm doing something. This is how our phone conversations go.
But
Exactly
Ia, how
like
do you?
this.
I want to know how you feel though, Ia. Would you, if I said, say if I was at your 3-story mansion, and I was, and me and my partner was in the midst. Come on, butterflies in the chat. I see y'all. Me and my partner was in the midst of getting intimate. Would that make you uncomfortable?
It doesn't make me uncomfortable. But if you're
Wait,
going to ask me more detail than that, I plead the 5th, 6th, and the 7th.
Huh. What did you just ask her?
Would
If
it make me uncomfortable if she was getting it on in the 3 stories?
If we started getting intimate, would it make her uncomfortable? Darcel, if
How would she?
Ia, the elder mother, is more of a voyeur and a freak than you. That is you are the problem. You are the
Am
problem.
I the problem? Or am I the standard? We need to, you know what? We need to raise the
Am I the
standard.
standard?
Or am I the standard? We need to raise the standard.
If the standard is not being an exhibitionist, not being a voyeur, if that's the standard, then call me a low vibrational plate, okay? Because I'm here with it. How low can you go? Can you go down low? All the way to the floor? How low can you go?
Your king? Is this your king?
I'm a low vibrational plate. I'm gonna get it together in wherever I please, and whoever want to see can see, and whoever don't. You don't have to watch if it's not your thing. But
Look at him. Got his hand on his head.
It's gonna get active.
I just, you know what? Perhaps, no, I can't even consider it. It's gonna be a no for me. Okay, I just feel like that space. I just feel like that is just an intimate space. I would not want someone to do that for me. I wouldn't want somebody to be all up.
You may not have met the right person that you'd want to do it with.
I don't want nobody zooming in up on me like that. Yeah.
She didn't ask about zooming. She said if they got started, would I have a problem?
I'm not gonna have Queen Poe in there. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
You're missing out. I'm sorry to hear that for you. I'm sorry to hear that for you.
And then y'all just resume and have regular conversation after all that is complete.
Yes, y'all, sex is a very normal thing. It's very normal. It's very much okay. I'm very comfortable with that. It's not a big deal per se. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. I know I'm not engaging with them. You know, like it's not a big deal for me. It's almost I see it as a form of entertainment per se. So if I'm getting active, you know, and somebody is watching, I don't see it as like oh my God, oh no. I see it as like, I hope you enjoy the show, and whatever this does for you, I hope it does it to the maximum ability. You know, so.
And wait, hold up. Is this Reese? Be ye not dismayed. I am not vanilla.
He said he has some sprinkles and caramel in there somewhere. And maybe a little bit of honey.
Be ye not. I don't want people. I'm not as, how can I say, open to the public as Queen Poe is.
Listen, I always say, go ahead.
In those private spaces, there are the things, but the people are not all up in there documenting. This is not that for me.
What I always say, I say this. If there's a tape out there and it just so happened to get leaked, catch me at my best angle. You hear me? Catch me at my best angle. Don't leak a tape of me doing my worst. Get me at my best. Because if a tape ever drop on me and they try to catch a little angle where I'm not at my best, I'm leaking a counter tape where I'm going to show you what I could really do. Okay? Okay? Listen. Okay, that's it. Leak the tape, but catch me at my best. That's my philosophy. I'm not ashamed. Sex is very normal. It's a part of life. It's an art to me. I literally see it as an art. So when I have seen, because this, like I said, my friend group, we are open. Like if it's, I've seen friends get down. I'm not watching it like, it's like, oh, you better get it. Oh, okay, all right, okay. And I've had people watch me, and it's very much like they're just watching. Nobody is like self-pleasuring or anything like that. They're watching. They're voyeurs. It's like, let me see. It's entertainment. It's a beautiful art. And I feel like I'm putting on a show, and when I'm in the audience, I'm in the audience watching a show.
This is giving, as the church mothers would say, loose. This is a little too loose for me. Just for me. It's a little loose out here for me. But you know what? Whatever makes you happy, I encourage you to do it. And do it, film it, record, run it back. Put it live. I encourage you play it forwards, backwards, put it in reverse, play it in slow motion. Whatever. That is okay. That is yes. Good.
It's I will. I'm just glad that we had this conversation, because now I know. I know not to never bust nothing open in front of you. Okay. I know.
It's just like the people, you would just be there and the people just start doing the things.
I have. I had a friend, I have been at their birthday party, and me and another, we were getting intimate, and we got intimate. I have, yes. And they watched, yes. And guess what? We don't ever speak about it again. It's just a thing. It happened. It was a beautiful experience. It was fun. And that's it. Yeah.
So am I gonna have to mark this not for children?
No, because we're speaking very privately. Yes. I sure was. And that day I was a very. Come on, Miss Doe. Come on, Miss Doe. This is why I love you, my TWC sister queen. Yes. It's about freedom. It's about, like, for me, again, and I'm not saying that if you don't do this, that means that you are not free or not. But for me, my manifestation of freedom and comfort and confidence is being like showing my body and being comfortable being nude and open. I'm very comfortable with intimacy and giving and receiving pleasure, privately and publicly. Like, I'm just very open and comfortable with talking about these things, with showing these things. And I'm comfortable. Butterflies in the sky.
We know that they are flying twice as high. We understand that. And I think yes, good. I mean, that is great for those of you that enjoy saying things like that. That is just yes, excellent. That form of freedom, that is the freest. That you can't be more free than that. That's when you're free. Can't be more free than that. Good God.
I'm glad there's other folks. I'm glad there's other folks. Right. Because I want to ask Ia some questions, but I also want to remain respectful. But
I'm not going to answer that on a public platform, because I already know how you are.
I know. So that's all. Next subject.
I can't. I plead the 5th, the 6th, the 7th. Push the limit. You would, dear, you would be the one to say that. I don't expect anything less.
At the possibility of me being be in there, child, walking around and look over at the couch.
And it's possible that I will be giving or receiving some type of pleasure. It's a possibility.
Poe, you listen. You gonna make that man go into cardiac arrest? Okay, you got to.
but see, y'all.
He
This is
cannot.
why it's important to have these conversations with your tribe, right? Because now you know what people are comfortable with. So I would never cross any boundaries in anyone else's house, but y'all know if you come to my house, you are susceptible to seeing some things. I literally have a swing hanging in the middle of my living room. Hello.
True.
Okay.
Facts.
You are
Phoenix.
clearly, this is not for this house, this home is not for the faint at heart. We are a very open home. And when people come visit, I give tutorials on the swing. Hey, you should get one. This is how you use it. This is what you do. I tell them, get in it. Put your leg right here. Do this. This is how it goes. I have those conversations. Again, this is a topic like sex and stuff and being comfortable, spiritual seduction as a whole. This is like it's things I'm very comfortable with discussing.
And now she'll talk about this. When you was asking about the spiritual gifts,
she didn't want to talk about it.
I'm not really sure.
Make it make sense, Poe.
I don't really want to get into that.
What makes sense?
I'm gonna drop it wide, busted low, zoom in for you, but I don't want to talk about the spirit.
It's about physical versus spiritual. Physical,
but aren't you exchanging the spirit when you're being physical?
So this, y'all. Now this is how I feel about this. This is a good topic right here, right? That's why I said understanding how to fine tune your gifts and your energy, because this idea, and y'all, for real, y'all tell me how y'all feel, and we have the right to agree, to disagree, and so on and so forth. I do not like people putting so much pressure on sex in a sense of, it's a sacred energy exchange, and this, and it is. You do exchange energy because you're exchanging DNA, you exchange spiritual energy. However, you also have the ability to cleanse your energy. You also have the ability to block out certain energies. You have the ability to mine certain energies. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, I just have a thing about like putting so much pressure in the sense of understanding, how can I put this? Understanding your partners and experiencing partners. I feel like we put too much pressure on each other and we shame people for that. And I'm not.
We're not shaming you, but the sage took me out. I just.
What?
You didn't hear me when I said cleansing your energy.
That's just something else that we agreed to disagree on, because I disagree with.
No,
y'all don't know.
Not about the herb. Not about the herb now. Refocus to what you were talking about.
Using a sage to cleanse your energy.
Yes, not what you're thinking. You're thinking serious. You going too far.
I know you're talking about the person with the sage and the D. I know. But the thing is, for me, I feel like that is a practice that also needs to be associated and paired with other practices. But it's a practice, but it needs to be paired with other practices as well. So yeah.
Someone said you didn't give the link.
I do understand and agree that, especially how the view of sex has been weaponized as a suppressant of people by religions and cultures and things like that. That has definitely been used as a suppressant. So I understand that, and I understand how some quote unquote conservative attitudes towards it, means or says that, if you have this amount of sex, then you are this and you're labeled this and all of that. I completely understand that, and I disagree with that. I think that the judgmental aspect of it is out of order. You should not do that. I just think that we are not as aware of what happens when you engage in those activities with those people. A lot of people are not aware that that's even a thing. And I know this speaking from the male perspective, party opposed, good God. I know this speaking from the male perspective, how we are taught to have absolutely no concern whatsoever about the people that we engage and have sex with in heteronormative and heterosexual situations. We're not taught that, nor are we taught that there are any type of spiritual happenings that occur in those processes because it's just sex, And I think that with everything we do, we should be mindful of what we're doing and operate with a sense of awareness. And, you just can't be passing energy around like that to me. And I think that you just need to be aware of that. But as far as it being a sin and a grave energetic problem, that's not it. I disagree with that. But I think that awareness and mindfulness should be at the forefront of the flesh. That's my perspective on that. Sure, let me see.
The link that because I was like, what link? The link that she's talking about, Ms. Doe is talking about, is the link to the swing, because this topic has come up before in the wellness community. So yeah, what happened? I can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
You're muted.
It's like you're muted.
But yeah, that's the link she was talking about, with the link for the swing. I remember. Okay, so because I was like, what link? I'm like the Zoom from last night. That link is in the Patreon. The link for the swing. Yeah, I'll send the swing link. I'll send it. It's a good swing too, y'all. It holds up to 600 pounds, so that's enough for 2 people. Okay, 2 fluffies at that. If that's what 2 fluffies to be on a swing and be active and have a good time. Okay, we can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you moving.
Plugged it.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm back now. That's what happened.
Okay.
Says you got me clenching pearls. The door swing though.
It's not a door swing. It's literally hanging from the ceiling in the middle of my living room. It's not even a door
swing.
Let
me be clear.
It's hanging from the ceiling in the middle of the living room.
Look at the body roll she did when she did it. That tells you she's swinging.
In the living room. It literally swings. Ain't no door involved. It's in the middle of the living room, so there's plenty of space. It's plenty of movement. It's arm parts and leg parts, so you could. It's nice. It's nice. Okay, you gotta mount it from your ceiling. Yeah, it's a good time. Not release the tapes. Release the tapes. Listen, okay. But yeah, it's wait, even if I wasn't down, I'm gonna be through the peephole, peeping. Come on now, peep through the peephole. But I definitely agree. I wanted to hear your perspective on that, as far as like having intimate partners in the energy exchange. Because as I was saying, I feel like we put too much emphasis on it, and as Darcel mentioned, like that's to me that's that Christian aspect coming into spirituality. People shaming folks and putting that pressure on folks for who they choose to be intimate with. And I'm just not a fan. What I always say is, I don't care if you have 10 partners, 20 partners, just strive to make sure that they are all well. Strive to make sure that they are well. Strive to make sure that they are doing their work. Don't just be out here, laying it low and spreading it wild with everybody and they mama and their daddy, and you don't know anything about that person. You don't know what energy they are carrying. But I don't believe in you can't be with too many people, or you can't do too much because this is going to happen and that's going to happen. I don't agree with that. I feel like, hey, be free. Do what you want to do with whoever you want to do it. I don't care if you want to have 4 or 5 at a time at one time. If all of y'all are well and all of y'all are caring for yourselves and the vibe is right and the energy is right, why wouldn't you want to exchange that energy? Why wouldn't you want to exchange that peace and that intimacy, that passion and all of that? Exchange it. Do it. Have a good time. Have fun. Be free.
So I'm going to answer your question. This is why I took it off, so that they could see my face.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try to say it in the most non-urbanly challenged way possible. Because I tell
Mm-hmm.
people this when they talk to me, and take it as I say it. I'm for hoeing. Live your life. Just know that after you do such, be able to handle what comes with that when you're exchanging that with the people. I'm not saying you're ashamed of doing it, but just know what you're getting into, and then have your own practices to help get yourself out of it. Because some people, they get it done so well, they don't know what to do with themselves. They're obsessed. Because if you don't practice, you're not going to know what you like. So that I will answer. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
tell people that all the time. I'm like, yeah, so you're young. What you got? Wait, you just started college? Oh, boo. Don't hold on, because people get into the relationships and hold on. Speaking from experience. So my I'm trying to not say what I want to say. Just know it happened after those years, the things that I wanted to do. So do you, boo? Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know this will live on forever
And
and
also
ever.
too, I think that there are also, and that is the same vein to which I believe we're all speaking on, is that whatever works for you and what you do has nothing to do with what you believe everyone else should do.
No,
Whatever your personal practice is, your personal view on it, you should go with that, because what tends to get left out of these conversations is individuals of like asexual identities and who align with that and who don't truly express themselves in that way or feel comfortable um, relating in that way. So just because we're all pro ho, because I am pro ho. I believe that you can do whatever it is that you want to do as frequently as you want to do it. My suggestion is the same: mindfulness.
we need pro shirts.
Pro, pro, mindfulness, mindfulness,
It's the
mindfulness.
act of, and when we're saying that, we're not saying to just be tricking off for no reason, like it cutting checks. We're not saying that. We are just saying live your life, explore as you need to explore, and don't have yourself constrained to believe you're going to a place that doesn't exist because you do, and let it be your choice that you do it. That's all we're saying.
Big
That's
facts,
it. Do it
though.
safely. Thank you.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now
Good
we
God.
at 2 hours and 21 minutes meeting Poe's quota of almost being on here like the TWC. So I will have all of their contact information below. I hope that you said no, you didn't. I cannot. I hope that you have a good you had a good time, that you got the series
Not
at the
like
beginning. And that you're taking what we say in just but learn lessons at the same time. I will have everybody's contact information for those of you all who have never come across my page before and or this channel, and you're just now seeing this. Welcome. Good to meet you. Hope you come back sometime. I thank y'all for coming and being here. I appreciate your time and your energy. And to my people up on the screen, I love y'all to life. To the people out there watching, I love you to life. Thank you for doing this. And Poe, leave it to you to get the party started. Right?
Holistic. I
for
Holistic.
lack.
practice holistic wellness. Holistic wellness. We
Yes.
address all parts of the being: spiritual, mental, physical, all parts.
Yes. Now, before I close it all the way out, go ahead and tell them how they can find you. And then Darcel do the same thing. And I'll still put all the information in the comments.
Ocean goddess. Holistic. No, that was Manny.
Yeah, let's
Holistic
actually
wellness. I love it. Go ahead,
That
Manny.
is
Yes,
hilarious.
Manny. Yes.
somebody screenshot that and send it to her, because she's gonna
That's
make a
the
shirt.
one. That's the one. Holistic wellness. That's the one, Manny. Put that
That
on the
has me
shirt.
screaming.
Thanks,
Yes.
Holistic.
John. Thank you. All
Well,
right, yo. Thank you.
I am everywhere at Darcel Andre, TikTok, IG, I'm not really on Twitter like that, but everywhere at Darsa Andre, you can purchase all of my wonderful oils and products and sign up for the hair wrap class that y'all have been asking for is available at the innerlightspa.com, and that will be linked in the bio, as well as your ability to purchase my oils. And I also have a wealth ritual that we're doing for the last 3 days of this month. So you want to go ahead and sign up for that. Thank you.
Did she pause?
Oh, it's on me. It's on me.
Oh no, what
Okay.
happened?
Can y'all hear me?
I hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So I am the Queen Poe everywhere. I'm not gonna say everywhere. I'm the Queen Poe on Instagram and TikTok. I have no other platforms. That's it, Instagram and TikTok. Join the wellness community to be connected, to get in touch, to find a tribe that is centered in holistic wellness. No matter where you are on your wellness journey, no matter what your focus is, the wellness community is a home that we are open and loving to all. The intention of the wellness community is to create and have a wellness centered space where any and everyone, regardless of where you are on your journey, if you are new, if you've been on your wellness journey for forever, it don't matter. Pull up patreon.com/the Queen Poe. Patreon.com/the Queen Poe. It's only $5 a month. We have $5 per month. Yes. We have a group chat. We do Zoom classes. We have all kind of spiritual baths and recipes and prayers and things like that. There are recommendations. We got a book club going. We had our book club meeting last night. We got another one coming up on the 12th. We talk about all kinds of things and do all kinds of things. It's a whole vibe. So patreon.com/the Queen Poe. Everything spelled regular, no extra shit, no numbers, letters, and all, well, no extra letters. It's just the Queen Poe, P-O. And I'm on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel where I over 300 videos, almost 400 now, all about holistic wellness, spirituality, mental wealth, spiritual wealth, physical wealth, all of that. All kind of recommendations, herb workings, and everything. Patreon.com, join the wellness community. Patreon.com/the Queen Poe. Check me out on YouTube. If you can't afford it, $5 a month, pull up to the YouTube and get as much as you can get from just the YouTube for the free. Okay, the YouTube is free. The wellness community is the $5. It's the $5. Okay, but regardless, however you come, pull up. You are family. We love you. No matter where you are, if you are just getting started, we got a home for you. If you've been on this thing, we got a home for you. Just join and learn and be open. Be ready to receive because your cup will be filled. Let's get into it.
Listen, that's how you can find me. And then furthermore, Poe and Darcel, when you do pull up, and if you found them this way, let them know how you found them. Just for purposes of you saw the content and they know where you came from. But we hope to see you all later. And until next time, you guys, peace.
Peace.